If you come to my house and want to cook, guess what? All the spices are in alphabetical order. So easy to find. And if you want a shirt in my closet, easy. All the colors are put in the order of the rainbow. When I put a mug away inside my cupboard, all the handles face in the back. I'm just so OCD. But there's a difference between being a perfectionist and having obsessive-compulsive disorder. And what I want to do today is work with you on really helping you to define where the line gets drawn, where something might just be something you do because it's a quirky thing and it works for you and you like it and enjoy it, versus you feel driven to have to perform something because if you don't, you're worried something bad or awful or horrible will happen. My name is Dr. Patrick McGrath. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist and the Chief Clinical Officer at NOCD. Today's video is for informational purposes. I'm not here to diagnose or treat anyone, but if you feel you could use extra help, there will be links in the description below. So, what's the difference between perfectionism and obsessive-compulsive disorder? We're going to find out. You may really enjoy the fact that everything in your home is in order. All of the pictures are exactly at 90-degree angles, the pillows are exactly where you want them to be, and you enjoy having people come over and people saying, wow, this place is beautiful and wonderful. There's a difference, though, from that and somebody who has obsessive-compulsive disorder, who keeps on canceling the parties that they set up because they can't make sure that the house is clean enough for everybody to come into. That's one of the major differences. People with perfectionistic tendencies seem to get a satisfaction out of accomplishing the things that they're doing. There isn't a sense of satisfaction that one gets with obsessive-compulsive disorder. It's more of a sense of relief. The thing that I'm afraid of won't happen because I have finally done this compulsion. But only momentarily, because the OCD cycle goes again and again and again. Perfectionists will do things once or twice usually, but just because you do something more than twice doesn't make it obsessive-compulsive disorder. What we'll see is that those things can take a little bit of time, but they're not interfering in somebody's day. That's one differentiation between perfectionism and just right or perfectionistic OCD, where it is significantly interfering in someone's day. In fact, in the definition of OCD, it describes taking at least an hour of your day to do their obsessions and compulsion cycles. Or it's significantly interfering in their ability to work or do their academics or function socially or something like that. People with OCD are racked with guilt and shame about the fact that they haven't been able to achieve something that they want to achieve, versus people with perfectionism very often do achieve it, and they even got some satisfaction out of it. Let's look at an example of one way OCD and perfectionism might differ from each other. A perfectionist might be asked to write an email for work. And you sit and you write it and you spend a few moments rereading it. You use the thesaurus option, maybe even give it a little bit of time, come back to it, check it for punctuation and grammar, run the spell check, make sure everything looks good, and then send that email off. Someone with obsessive-compulsive disorder might be asked to write an email for work. With the OCD cycle, it's important to recognize that the boss asking you to write that email was a trigger. And the obsession that came through was, I have to make sure that I get this email just right or else we're going to lose this bid. And then the fears of, what if I don't do it just right? And what if we lose the bid? And what if I get fired because of it? And what if therefore I can't pay for my mortgage? And what if the family gets kicked out of the home? And what if we live on the streets for the rest of our lives? And what if we're destitute and poor forever? Now, that might sound extreme, but let me tell you, that's where OCD takes things to. And so what do? You do the compulsion. You're constantly checking and rechecking. There's a sense of relief that now the thing that I'm afraid of won't happen because I have finally done this compulsion. Of course, with the OCD cycle, it continues and continues, so then you have to keep doing it over and over again to constantly dodge those bad or awful, horrible feelings that you feel. You're writing and rewriting, you're rereading things over and over. Is that quite right? Maybe I should go back and ask my boss one more time. Could you just describe what you want on that email again? And then you get that information and you start typing again, but now you doubt, did I actually hear what my boss told me to do? Am I doing this just right? So you go back again to ask again. And now your boss seems frustrated and says, please just get the email out. It's very important. It has to be out today. And so now you're feeling the pressure of having to do it, so you compose and compose. And then you send a draft off to other people at work and ask them what their thoughts are. And they give some feedback. And now, which one's the best feedback? How should I know which one I should choose? And everyone else leaves work, and you're still there trying to get this email out. And finally, at 9 o'clock at night, you hit send. But the bid was due at 7. You've already missed the deadline. I think you can see there what the difference looks like between obsessive-compulsive disorder and perfectionism. The person with perfectionism, they got the email out. It met all their requirements. It ticked all the boxes off. But the person with OCD, they couldn't achieve what OCD wanted them to achieve. Why? Because you can never hit the bar that OCD sets. It's always too high. If this sounds like some of the things that are going on for you, I want you to know help is available for this. There's a great therapy that we use for OCD called exposure and response prevention therapy, or ERP. In ERP, we purposely expose people to things that are uncomfortable. Those would be the obsessions, those thoughts or images or urges that you fear aren't perfect enough. Now, OCD wants you to do a compulsion, that immediate mental or behavioral act to neutralize whatever the obsession is. We would have you do something called response prevention, which is not giving in to what the compulsion is, to staying in the moment, to feeling the feelings and recognizing that you can handle them. Not going back and doing the checking and asking other people for their opinions and trying to figure out what everybody else is thinking, but doing an email and then maybe reading it over once or twice and then sending it. And we might start that first with just to a friend and then build up to eventually doing it at work as well. If you're looking for a therapist to help treat OCD, remember, not all therapists are going to be the same. So you want to find one who specializes in OCD and exposure and response prevention therapy. Now, feel free to interview any therapist that you're going to be seeing to make sure that they do ERP for OCD and that they've treated cases of OCD in the past. If you are looking for help, you can utilize the directory on the International OCD Foundation or check out NOCD. NOCD is an online platform for the treatment of obsessive-compulsive disorder. You can download the app or go to the NOCD website and schedule a free 15-minute call with the team there. They'll set you up with a licensed therapist who's specialized in the treatment of OCD. You can do sessions right there online, and in between sessions, you'll have things available to you such as peer-led support groups, the ability to message your therapist, and even self-help tools. In the description below, there's links for you to check out, and there's also information from Healthline available there too. I hope you learned something in today's video and are better able to differentiate perfectionism versus obsessive-compulsive disorder. Thank you for watching. We appreciate it and hope to see you again.